You know, a little while ago I was in India. There's a city called Hyderabad that I was giving a talk in. Now, Hyderabad is an interesting place. It's famous for its food. Biryani is excellent, if you like that kind of spicy food. It's also famous for being one of the world's centers for outsourcing. So this is the back-end operations of a big bank in Australia called ANZ Bank. Now, they were experimenting with robotic process automation, which is using technology to automate repetitive tasks. Someone thought it'd be a good idea to give the robots their own chairs with the word robot on it. Now, I struggle to see how this would be good for morale. Can you imagine coming to work every day and seeing your friends and colleagues slowly disappearing and to be replaced with an empty chair with the word robot on it? I think any enthusiasm you'd have for technology would kind of evaporate at that point. So, you know, I remember thinking, it's not enough just to automate. If we don't at the same time ask ourselves, how do we also elevate the functions of the people in the team? You see, we're going to go through this period where we're going to bring in automation, and everyone's going to use the same software, right? We're all going to do the same levels of automation. So the real productivity gains won't come from eliminating people. The productivity gains will be taking the people we have and getting them to do more useful, purpose-driven, value-driving activities. And if you think about it, this is really about how we think about decisions. Your organization is really just a collection of decisions. You're a decision-making machine. And your value comes from the velocity by which you can make high-quality decisions, solving problems, creating value for your customers and members. But not all decisions are the same. So, okay, there are some, I call them first-order decisions. These are repetitive, they happen all the time. It could be onboarding a new member, it could be reordering inventory. The point is, no human being should do it. Because if you can define it, you can automate it. And if you can automate it, it's not real work. So that's classic opportunity there. But then there are second-order decisions that are more abstract. It could be identifying fraud in transactions. It could be trying to figure out pricing. Or packaging. So this is where you've got lots of data, but ambiguity. What you want to do is experiment with AI and machine learning. So it generate recommendations for your human leaders to kind of take a look at it and go, yeah, that's a pretty good decision, I'll go with that. Or no, that's wrong for these reasons. And in that process, they're training the AIs to get better with time. So you're taking your human intellectual property and you're building it into your platform. But there's always going to be decisions that are abstract, like how do we reinvent our customer engagement strategy? You know, how do we improve our brand? And these are not ones that machines can handle, but the point is this. The more you can automate at the bottom of the pyramid, the more time that people are going to have to do the work that really matters, and let's face it, is more interesting. And when you really get behind the digital transformations in banking and finance today, I believe the smart ones are being driven by purpose. In other words, how do we make sure we create an environment that the world's new young talent wants to work on? If they've got a choice between Google and Facebook and you, how do you actually have a dog in the game, right? You know, ING Bank, they went through this big reorganization. So a couple of years back, they looked at Spotify and Facebook and Netflix, and they said, what can we learn from those companies that we can apply in our organization? It wasn't just about technology. They looked at how they had these small dynamic teams. So they reorganized the entire bank into about 350 small teams. And you know, I interviewed the CIO who drove this transformation for my book. And I said, why did you do this? Was it just about speed and innovation and efficiency? He said, no, it was mainly about purpose. Because he said, all the time we tell people who join our organizations, go and build a bridge. Here are the exact specifications. Here's your tiny little job, and you're going to work for it for years, and you probably won't even see the bridge getting built. He said, what if we just told people, let's cross the river together? If we actually gave them more open-ended goals, and then we gave them the means and the teams to be able to achieve that. He goes, more than money, the next generation are driven by that kind of mission-directed work.